is what we're gonna chant. No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
I'm gonna pass it to our next speaker, who is the president of the San Francisco General Hospital chapter for SEIU 10-1, Brenda Barros.
Okay, my name is Brenda Barros, a DPH employee of more than 30 years. I'm here today because there's a need for urgent change. Black workers and residents are suffering when it comes to employment in San Francisco. We believe that stagnation of the leadership of the top of human resources management is a major contributor to this problem. We are not seeking preference, only equity. We believe that based on the fact that all executive administration and human resources is white is a major contributor to the lack of accountability of our managers on the issues of bias in hiring. We also believe new leadership is required. Micki Callahan has failed us all. We are here to ask the board that runs the city to take bold steps once and for all to work with labor to stop the discrimination, bullying, and unfair treatments. This, we believe, will help to make sure that blacks continue to play a role everywhere in San Francisco, and our black children will be able to see true diversity in every city workplace. So I really am, this is my nice speech. You'll hear the other one inside. But this has really got to change. I'm so happy for Malia and all the other supervisors that are stepping up to help us to solve this problem. Systemic racism has been going on everywhere for years. We've been saying it. People have been looking at us like we're crazy when we bring it up. People have been disciplined, retaliated on when they bring it up, but no more. We're here to say that that is over. That day is over, that we're going to tolerate that kind of behavior from anybody, anywhere.
All right.
Thank you, Brenda. Next up, we have our member leader, who's also a delegate on our political committee. Please welcome Cheryl Thornton.
Good afternoon, labor and community leaders, as well as residents of San Francisco City and County. My name is Cheryl Thornton, and today I'm here to come speak about the malfeasance, the systemic discrimination, and the misrepresentation of workers throughout the city and county workforce. I have been employed by the San Francisco Department of Public Health for the past 28 years. However, my involvement with the San Francisco community at large stems from my childhood and a long-term member of SEIU 10-1. Many minorities in the same situation as I have faced systemic discrimination. For advocating for my rights, I have been subjected to a hostile work environment where I was discriminated against on numerous occasions, even after reporting these incidents to managers, department heads, and city officials. I played by the rules. I acquired the necessary credentials for promotional opportunities, sat for numerous civil service examinations, even scoring in the top 5 of the civil service ranking system. Yet, despite my efforts to progress in my career, since 1995, I have remained in the same position. In April of 1968, the Memphis, Tennessee sanitation workers' strike occurred with over 700 frustrated workers. Today, I face the same issue with no pay equity, no due process, and unsafe working conditions as we expose the current situation throughout the workforce of the city and county of San Francisco. Here, 50 years later, we are still encountering this fight for equity for workers. And just like these workers, we will not go away. We will not go away. We will not go away. We are here to erase racism now. You may ask, what is racism? DHR data suggests that the minority workers are constantly subjected to systemic racism, where Black workers suffer the most. The City and County of San Francisco workforce report shows African Americans have the lowest rate of placement in permanent civil service positions. We Black workers are represented as temporary workers in 40% of those categories. The report also places African Americans disproportionately in lower compensated positions when compared to other groups. The median income for a Black worker with the City and County of San Francisco is $60,000 annually. The median income for a white worker in the City and County of San Francisco is $146,000 annually. So I'm here today in solidarity with my brothers and sisters and our allies to demand the city officials to take action, to be accountable for making this city a city for all San Franciscans. We are demanding a complete audit, a comprehensive strategy to eliminate discrimination, a study to identify out-migration, hold those accountable who have perpetuated this discrimination, and establish an official work group with authority to oversee the elimination of discrimination of African Americans. Thank you.
I have to say that your fight, you're not alone, because enough is enough. Enough is enough. So from unibus drivers to professional and technical engineers in this city, from microbiologists to senior counselors in the probation department, labor stands united with you, sisters and brothers. We know that an injury to one is an injury to all, that you're leading this fight. Be proud to be 10-1 today. Be proud to be union members and be proud to have a voice by standing together. We know that the one true way to have a voice at work is through that union solidarity. And you will hold this city accountable, and we will stand behind you and we will stand with you out in the streets and in the hearing rooms, because accountability is the first step. You're calling it out and they'll have to do something. But you're also going to go into negotiations next year, and you're also going to have to make decisions. And this city is going to try to force you to make decisions around your own justice and your own equality in the workplace, or something else. And it's going to be on you to lead the movement in this city to say, the economics is one thing, but our right to be treated fairly and our right to have justice in the workplace, you don't put a price on that. And we're looking to you, leaders in the rank and file and in the elected leadership of 10-1. We're proud of you. We stand in solidarity with you. Many, many workers have expressed their solidarity. Last night we passed a resolution unanimously calling for the same reforms, and you are calling for the ultimate reforms, and we will stand with you alongside of that. I was talking to Brother Dave Williams about it, and you know, when you call out injustice, it's one thing to just call it out. It's another thing to have a call to action and a plan to deliver that action. And so we stand with you, we're going to go inside with you, and we're going to be with you until the end. Thank you, sisters.
Okay. Hi, my name is Audrey Liang. I'm a SEIU 10-1 member for a long time. I work for the city since 1994, over like 20 years already. I'm a very good worker. I very help the members. But since I help the member join the union's activity, I got receiving the retaliation from management, especially on the HSA department, Human Service Departments. Human Service Agency Department, the management is keep targeting on me and retaliation me since I come out by the for witness for my coworker, and then he keep ongoing, be harassing me and targeting on me and then pick on me. Every time when I'm speaking Chinese, either to the coworker or to the client, and then he come out to do to look at me and do dirty look and doing like the finger to shh like this, and also pinpointing on me every time. And then I try to let him know how is the Chinese speaking. Like I understand Mandarin, Cantonese, and Taiwanese, 3 different dialects. The client really needs me to do an interpreter for them and then help the city more convenience for the client and for the public workers, you know. It's very good for the cities, you know. But the management is not appreciated. It's instead to targeting on me and retaliation on me, and then keep ongoing harassments. Every time when I speak in Chinese, but the other people, they speak different language, he doesn't care. It's only on me. Like we have a Filipino speech Spanish speech, and then even the other people speak in different language. He doesn't care. He only targeting on me all the time. That's what is happening in human service agency in collection units. That is very.
And what is the union doing about it?
The union at the first thought they don't mind, but like they say, I'm a substitute, I can fight for it, right? But on the first one, I was got retaliation. The union did not go to arbitration, and then they were thinking, oh, the union doesn't care about you, and then they don't care, and then they keep on going. Like on 2013, and then I already filed a grievance, and then going to the step 4 grievance, but they. Up on the arbitration, they say, we just keep to working on the management, and then we are not going to do an arbitration. But this time, in 2018, that since 5 years. They targeted on me being 5 years ongoing, and then finally right now, they agreed to go to the arbitration, and then I hope the union can help us. But our union, you heard one is hurt all, right? But like that's why a lot of the Chinese people, they are afraid, they scare, and then they about the retaliation. I'm the example for them. They try to target on me because I'm always come out to stand up for the members. Been long time, since 2005, I'm a union bargaining member delegate. I've been the delegate for 2 terms on the bargaining team, 2006 until 2012. And the 2013, some new bargaining delegate come up to the bargaining, and then I stepped down. That's why I hope the union can help us to do more and protect the members and then protect our workers' rights.
So I'm Amy Gray Schlink, and I work at the San Francisco Water Department, and I'm part of the fight back there against management bullying.
What's going on at the San Francisco Water Department?
Well, maybe the worst example is that back in June, through really management negligence, we lost one. My sister plumber, the only other woman plumber in the water department, she was killed. So there's a lot of unsafe practices going on that we've been complaining about for a long, long time. And
so management knows about this.
They know all about it. They write it up on spreadsheets, and they call the solutions routine, and they call the problems routine. And then when my coworker Lily was killed, they bumped the spreadsheet up to an urgent matter, but it's still just on a spreadsheet.
Talk about Lily, who she was.
Lily was, as I said, the only other woman plumber at the construction and maintenance yard at the San Francisco Water Department. She's a young mother, a very feisty, wonderful person who was a heck of a plumber, and
so she fought to get this job.
She fought to get this job, and she, in fact, worked there for about 7 years and was an at-will employee. She never had the opportunity to pass probation and have any kind of rights.
Why not? Why didn't she have the right to pass probation?
So that's one of the things we're fighting, is eliminating these what are called Category 18 and temporary exempt positions that are basically hired at will to work for a certain period of time. But the reality is sometimes you continue, sometimes you don't, but you never have the opportunity to have actual rights in the workplace. So no wonder that's the kind of employee who's going to be killed in the street when they're worried about speaking up, when they're worried about saying, I don't think this feels safe, because they're going to go back to the office and be bullied.
And she is not going to get any compensation, I understand, as a result of the fact she was a temporary worker?
To be honest, I don't know all the details of that, but I have heard that, and it horrifies me. I mean, her daughter obviously is greatly in need of the rest of her life, being financially taken care of. It's absolutely astonishing. And then the doublespeak by management to talk about her and characterize her as a valued employee just, absolutely makes your stomach turn.
And is there systemic racism in the city and county of San Francisco?
Well, starting once again with Lily Preciado. I mean, she's a woman of color who was bullied, as far as I could see, and she certainly was not protected in the kind of dangerous work that we do. I've seen people of
color. Why is that? You have a union, don't you?
And I've seen people passed up for employment. I've seen people passed up for promotion.
Nepotism, cronyism.
It's if you're not connected. I mean, that's why here I am. I'm here, at a rally against racism. But I know which side my bread is buttered on. My dad didn't work there, and so I didn't get hired because I was college buddies with somebody. I just was lucky enough to get a job. But I'm just trying to hold on to it. So there's definitely nepotism throughout the city.
Well, the Labor Council had a resolution last night and about racism, systemic racism, workplace bullying, harassment, and it called for the removal of Micki Callahan as Director of Human Resources. What do you think about that?
I would love to see it. I haven't had a lot of run-ins with her, but what I've seen has been very much as one would expect at this point in our society. You know, I mean, the Director of Human Resources is there to represent the city, and she's very much representing the city's interests and not the employees and not the workers and not those of us who are making the city run.
And $70 million has been spent for settlements to workers and lawyers and the city lawyers for illegal discrimination. What do you think? How could that happen?
Here's the thing about it. I finally learned my lesson that the city can apparently absorb a lawsuit here and a lawsuit there, and then you better keep quiet about it. But what they can't absorb is a rally like this, is what we're trying to do. It's everybody getting together and saying, we can't be bought off, so you're going to have to do something. We're putting pressure on you. That's what the city can't absorb. And so we're finally getting smart, and I think workers around the city are getting smart. That's what we need to do.
Brandon Dawkins, Chief Shop Steward for the Community Public Health Chapter, and I work at Laguna Honda.
So why don't you talk about the issue of racism and privatization outsourcing, how they're connected?
So here's the thing. Right now, you know, as city workers, you know, we do get paid a lot, but in some cases...
Not enough to live in San Francisco.
Right, in some cases, not enough to live in San Francisco, depending on what position you work. You know, now if I was white, you know, then I'm gonna be getting paid more because most likely I'll be one of the managers, okay? And what's going on is even with the private sector coming into the civil service, in some buildings in San Francisco, some city buildings, we got public workers and private workers working side by side, okay? And let's use for an example, an eligibility worker with the Department of Public Health, they start off at $27 an hour. But then at like $13.80 an hour, they have eligibility workers from the private sector that come in and get paid $14 and $15 an hour. So there's some disparities right there because
two-tier wage?
Yeah, it's a two-tier wages, you know. So it's, what's really going on is that number one, the city workers that are getting paid in the lower classes, that are working in the lower classifications with the lower pay, you know, we don't live in San Francisco, we live farther out, so it's gonna cost us to commute every day, okay? Then what they're doing, they're trying to outsource our work, you know, by paying these people $14 an hour, $15 an hour, and it's take away from all of our jobs.
So how is it that people, let's move closer, a little closer. How is it that people doing city work side by side are paid different salaries and they're doing the same work?
Because it's cheaper to bring in a contractor because the city and county doesn't have to pay those health care benefits. They don't have to pay retirement, okay? So it's cheaper to bring in somebody from the private sector to do the same exact job that public sector folks are doing.
Isn't that union busting?
Of course that's union busting. That's why we gotta do something about it. This is why we're here.
And shouldn't that be outlawed? Do you think there should be a rule or ordinance and a state law against outsourcing public work?
Absolutely, because number one, it does take public sector workers to do public work. Okay, there's no private sector workers that can come in and do the same job, you know, that can understand the public better.
And also the issue of that was raised earlier in the rally, that you have African-American workers serving the African-American community, but they're getting rid of African-American workers, replacing them with other workers. And that is not doing service to the public they're supposed to be doing service for. Is that an issue?
That's a huge issue. You know, in the San Francisco Department of Public Health, majority of the users of the services are African-American. However, if you walk up into any given clinic, there are no African-American medical providers. There are very few African-American nurses. The majority of the African-Americans that you see are working on the front line, so they're the eligibility workers. And maybe they might be the security guard that they outsourced in some of the clinics, okay? And so that's a huge disparity, and that's a shame. We can't continue to operate like this. You know, when patients come into our clinics, they want to be served by somebody who can identify with their issues and identify with their needs. And right now with the San Francisco Department of Public Health, they're not getting that. They're not getting that in the San Francisco County jails, okay? They're not getting it anywhere, and it's a travesty. We gotta cut this.
Is it systemic racism?
Of course it's systemic racism. How are we going to be 3% of San Francisco's population, but 50% of the population inside the San Francisco County Jail? Ridiculous.
And the wealth of the city, I mean, there's tremendous money in San Francisco. Where's that money going?
Of course you know where it's going. The Twitters, the Wells Fargos, the Microsofts, the Googles, everybody who got a big office right down there at the Embarcadero, folks along Market Street with these big corporations. That's where all the money is going. It ain't going to us, the people that help make the city run every day.
And you think this is going to unite all the public workers in San Francisco?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that us public workers in San Francisco, we need to continue to unite in solidarity. We need to pull from every single department, and we need to address these issues because the city needs to get called on the carpet for this.
To one is an injury to no justice. No peace. No justice.